Welcome, everybody, to episode 13 of Wrestling is Cool, the coolest wrestling podcast on the planet. Here with 13 episodes, man. We've hit the number, man. Friday the 13th is when this gets released to the... Well, I guess it's not Friday the 13th. I don't know how calendars work, apparently.
Well, it is an honor to be here. Thank you so much to the people of the WIC community. I'm your boy, Sancho West. This is Santi. Hey, Santi, one thing you just stumbled upon the news segment called Let's Have a Cody Off. Are you ready? I'm going to go ahead and think of a wrestler. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. I know a guy that likes to drink beers, and he drinks them all the time.
Gotcha. I understand the game. Okay, so you need me to vaguely, but not so vaguely, describe a wrestler, and you have to try and guess who it is. This is the Cody. What did you call this?
The Cody Off.
The Cody Off. All right. Well, I know a guy that I don't think if he was in front of you that you could see.
I know a guy that has 3 different personalities, and one of them happens to be the hippest cat around.
Oh, now do we change to different wrestlers or keep going with the same one?
You know, I was going to keep going with the same. You went with a different wrestler. I had one guy who drank beers. You guy who had one with the one that's invisible. I went with the triple guy. Do you want to have a Cody Off on the same wrestler? We go off. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I know a guy
that I'm just changing wrestlers every time. I know a guy that anytime he drinks water, he spits it up into the air.
I know a guy that eats apples, and he's the coolest guy on the island.
I know a guy that, dang it, I'm not good at this improv thing. I know a guy. Dang it.
I win.
I didn't know there was a winner. I didn't know there was a winner to this.
I win the Cody Off. Yes.
All right. Well, now I know. This was out of left field, man. You hit me, and I was not expecting it.
Win.
It's true.
Only way I can win. It's the heel tactics. You know what I mean? The heel tactics of the podcast. But Santi, this is going to be a truncated show. This is going to be a very, very short show. This is going to be a very long show today. We're not going to do the new heat order. Just want to let everybody know about that. Just get that out the way. I know it's the most exciting part of the show.
Yes, I have a dentist appointment, a very important dentist appointment. Some might say the most important dentist appointment of all time.
One thing I noticed is that you always do all your your whatevers before you go somewhere. TwitchCon, you got to get your haircut. You got a haircut today for the audio listeners. He's looking fresh. What else do you do? Do you check all the pipes as well?
Yeah, man. You got to take care of these things. I mean, when you're gone, when you're gone from your castle, you need to make sure that you're leaving everything, spick and span. And when you're going somewhere, I don't want the people of Portugal to think I'm some dweeb that doesn't get a nice fade, that doesn't get all nice and lined up, that doesn't get his teeth cleaned. I need to make a good impression for the people of Portugal. That's where I'm going to be going, in case you didn't connect the dots, in case you're not good at the Cody game where you can't figure out what I'm talking about. I know a country that speaks Portuguese.
I wonder where you're going. Speaking of that segment, man, does a party think that's a swerve? Huh? It's a big swerve-a-roo?
I mean, it leaves the, I guess, ability for it to be, but if it ends up being a swerve, that's the dumbest. That is so dumb. That is so dumb. Like, I get it from the WWE's perspective. I feel like if it was any other show, any other city, you could have left Randy Orton to be a surprise at the actual show, but you couldn't leave any semblance of possibility that it was going to be CM Punk that's the 5th guy. Because, dude, imagine you're waiting for the music to hit and then the Chicago crowd starts chanting CM Punk only to get Randy Orton. That'd just be a bad look. So I feel like you needed to pull that Band-Aid off quickly so that the Chicago crowd doesn't have any false expectations, so that they don't feel that they've been fugazi'd.
Then why did he just say Randy Orton?
I don't know, dude.
Say his name, Cody. Cody, say his name.
Man. He's an apex predator. Dude, that was so silly, but I don't know.
Cold-blooded.
It's meme worthy, so I appreciate it. It was silly. It was
Cody
silly.
Cody is a meme machine. I would say Cody is definitely a meme machine. Who else is a meme machine in the WWE?
Oh, Roman.
Days?
Roman's a meme machine. Absolutely. Dude, half the time when I post something on Twitter, I get some sort of Roman Reigns gif of Roman either making a face and the caption will be like, "Wise man, you seen this shit?" Something like that. Roman Reigns is a meme machine because of his facial expressions.
By the way, I'm not recording timestamps. I'm sorry. My bad.
This is a
Anyway,
short one. It's a short episode. You'll figure it
watch
out.
the whole thing. Watch the whole thing. Mount Rushmore of memes. Roman's one.
Yes.
Cena is one.
Cena. I mean, that's the meme.
And probably Edge.
Edge?
With that one gif kind of puts him in the Hall of Fame. The one where he's like with the rope. He's like,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, maybe. I mean, LA Knight is getting up there with his meme worthiness. I would say so. Dominic Mysterio, I think, will eventually become a top tier meme lord. So there's options available, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of who in the Attitude Era it would have been. I mean, Stone Cold, The Rock. I mean.
Yeah, but you old people from the Attitude Era don't even know what memes were. All right, you guys were first adopters on MySpace.
You wouldn't know what a meme is. It's a picture with text above and below. That's what memes are. You don't understand.
You wouldn't understand.
You wouldn't understand.
Well, if you're listening to this a few days early, that's because you're on Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap. And if you're listening to this on the Friday, that's okay. It's a free feed. But if you wanted this earlier, if you want even more wrestling content, check out patreon.com/SantiZap. The link to it will be down in the description below. You're going to get a whole bunch of goodies. You've been getting the Raw reviews over there, the SmackDown reviews, the upcoming Q&As are coming up on there. So go check it out. There might be something that you like there for a couple of extra bucks. Sancho, there's one guy that's missing from Survivor Series, and it's incredibly frustrating. Roman Reigns. What is this? Why isn't the tribal chief in a big 4 PLE? I'm Sancho. I still think that Survivor Series matters. I still think it's important. What's going on here, man? I thought it was a big 4 PLE. What's going on? Why isn't the most important WWE superstar of our time there?
It's because you folks out there want to give him the title. This man has the least title defenses in his entire title reign. Everybody, at the time you talk about that, people give me little numbers and averages of I don't need all that. All I know is that Roman not being there, Roman just not walking around in Chicago, it just shows you that I'm hoping that there's nothing more serious. You don't want that, right? Something IRL that's preventing him. There's rumors of other things that his health is not 100%. You don't want that. But in terms of just the context of the WWE, of the character Roman Reigns, he should be involved. He should have a direct satellite link. This man should have a stipulation in the match. He should have some skin in the game, as they say, Santi. And right now, it's Judgment Day business.
It is, yeah.
By extension, by proxy, that is bloodline business. I'm surprised Paul Heyman is not around. Maybe Paul Heyman's pulling the strings of Rhea. Maybe, there is some influence of that. You remember way back in the day when Paul Heyman said authorized, and they had that handshake. So who knows? But at the same time, I feel like Roman not being there, it doesn't hurt him in any kind of way because he's still by proxy there. He's like a looming presence always. But at the same time, it just bums me that the belt is not defended on the big major 4 PLE of Survivor Series. And you cannot deny that War Games definitely adds a little bit more of a little bit more glitter, a little bit pizzazz to Survivor Series. War Games is an awesome kind of don't give me that. War Games is fun, dude. You're gonna act like the Bloodline War Games was not fire?
It was fire, but I think a gimmick doesn't all of a sudden make this a top 4 PLE. I mean,
it's not about being top 4. It's about being legacy, dude. Some time legacy could be off. I know a PLE that has lots of legacy. And that's going to be the Survivor Series. You got to start somewhere to bring it back. I still do believe Money in the Bank's overrated.
What? Okay. All right. Relax. Now you're just saying things for the sake of saying things. You're just triggering the comments. You're trying to. You are clearly Survivor Series. Look, once the smoke settles from Survivor Series, we're going to forget about that show within 5 days. When the smoke settles of Money in the Bank, there's consequences for the rest of the year.
It's like a stinky fart, bro. It just stays around way too long. This Case has done nothing this entire year. It's been an anchor to Damian Priest, Senior Money in the Bank. And at the same time, this Survivor Series War Games has a lot of stipulations beyond Bloodline. I mean, you have Drew McIntyre, who is cooking, my friend. This man is the Guy Fieri of the WWE right now. This man's heel-esque promo. I still don't think he's a heel. You see, look, my prediction is that he's going to screw over Judgment Day because he's not going to forget. He is like an elephant. He never forgets.
See,
he's never going to.
I think it's Randy that screws over the good guys.
You think so?
Yeah, I think there's this too. Look, in my predictions, I was like, I feel like it's a coin toss. I feel like Randy Orton is either going to attack somebody during the match and costing them the match, or during the celebration. It's an RKO from out of nowhere. And it could be Jey Uso, it could be Cody Rhodes. Because when I look at Cody Rhodes' landscape after this, what do you have for him? You have nothing, unless it's Randy. And it makes sense. Like, there's nothing in place. There's something in place for everyone else here, right? There's something in place for Seth Rollins because he's the champion, so you automatically always have something in place. Whether it could be more Drew McIntyre, Jey Uso could be Drew McIntyre. But when I look at Cody Rhodes, what do I see from him? Like, I don't see anything immediately where he can sink his teeth into for the Royal Rumble. I think it's Randy.
Can I put a pause, a timeout?
Sure.
Can we RKO and get back on the show track, because we're just about to keep flying off the edge.
That's so true. Yeah, that's when we think that we have, the classic 2 hours, but we don't this time. Look, the reason I brought up Roman Reigns is because it's very clear that you want the title off of him. You have been a flag bearer for this, to the point where you've been hurting my feelings by doing nerdy voices whenever I talk about Roman Reigns' legacy and his title reign. So let's talk about him losing his title, but not like when he's going to lose his title, because it's going to be it's not going to be anytime soon, dude. Get over it. It's not going to be anytime soon.
I could cut you real deep right now. I'm going to cut you real deep. You ready?
Okay, hit me.
This Roman Reigns is the honky tonk intercontinental. It's getting into that range right now. Give me some fire, bro. You needs to end with some panache. Come on, man. Give me some like banger matches after matches. It needs to feel like, at this point, it should be a crescendo of like, he could lose to this guy, he could lose to that guy. It needs to keep going. Right now, there's just too far in between. Because right now, Honky Tonk Man had the longest reigning, for those of you know, in the Intercontinental for the longest time, and he held on to that thing forever. And this guy had a variety of different matches, but at least Honky Tonk Man wrestled. At least he got in there. At least he mixed it up. He was in multiple Survivor Series. Give me something, Roman. That's all I'm saying. Is that a fair thing to ask? That I want a fighting, undisputed, universal, intergalactic, worldwide, multiple timeline champion? Is that wrong for me to ask?
It's not wrong for you to ask, but we're making it seem like his entire reign has been this. It's just been 2023, 2022, 2021, 2020. He was in there.
It's how you finish.
You know what? Fair enough. I'm with you. I don't love the fact that he isn't defending the thing. I don't like that he's not part of the wrestling universe as a whole while he's, kayfabe gone. I really would like for him to make some sort of appearances.
He's like the Watcher, the Watcher in the MCU. He's just sitting there. He's watching everything go down. And you know what? At the same time, Monday Night Raw cooked, and it was fantastic. That was one of the best Monday Night Raw, or top, bottom, all the way to the main event. It was exciting. It was fun. The ladies nailed it. The men, the tag team division was fun. The mid card was amazing, and the main event was amazing. And it just shows you that you said, I think you might agree with me on this, is that the WWE machine keeps rolling. Yeah.
Everyone, it does. I've always said this. It doesn't matter who you are. You are an employee of the WWE, unless you are contractor, because they're not employees. Doesn't matter who you are. I mean, clearly it doesn't even matter that you're Vince. It doesn't matter who you are. You leave, you don't want to work, you don't want to do business. You're just a spoke on the wheel, man, and the wheel's going to keep turning, and they're going to find another spoke to replace you. That I know we keep getting off track here. That is why I think the business model of the WWE is far superior to AEW's, because AEW is not, you aren't just a spoke on the wheel. Like if you're
They need you.
Look at CM Punk. What happened when they lost him? The entirety of Collision collapsed, and that's the problem with AEW. They don't have next guy up at bat. They don't have this farm system creating the next megastar. Meanwhile, the WWE, their back pocket, they got Braun Breaker, they got Carmelo Hayes, they got Trick Williams, they got Ilya Dragunov. They've reinvented Baron Corbin. At any moment they could okay, you're gone, okay, next guy up. AEW, you go, your silhouette is there for months. It looms if you're a big star and you leave AEW.
And I want to be clear, I love Roman, and I think he's definitely top 3 champion of all time. I just want his ending just to be as good as his start, especially during the Thunderdome days when he was discovering his character. He was doing some amazing stuff. The whole stuff with his brother, the Usos, was fantastic. Him talking in the ring, discovering that character, going from someone who was just no one wanted to see to must-see TV to selling out arenas. And there is no doubt this man has done it. I just want to see that fantastic finish that I think he deserves and the bloodline deserves.
Yeah.
And you mentioned AEW. There's no way anyone in the WWE would drink someone's blood and spit it out. That was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And if that is your jam, I'm not judging you. But that just makes it really
yeah, not even, dude.
How can you top that? Like, you can't. There's nowhere else to go. That's
murder.
no stealing. I mean, basically that. And I just feel like my biggest thing is, how can Adam Page lose that match?
He did.
How can he lose that?
He Triple H the blood, and he lost. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like the ultimate payback. You're supposed to defend your family, and then you lose. Anyway. If you like that, that's your jam.
Dude,
that's your jam.
We are the worst at staying on track.
I know.
We are awful. But this is why the people like this podcast.
We're the WIC, baby. But we're back. Roman.
Top
10.
Okay, so what we were trying to eventually get to is, I was going to be like, oh, so you want him to lose? Well, why don't you give me the top 10 people that you think? Okay, so the topic of the show today is we are going to be going through what we think are the top 10 people most likely to dethrone Roman Reigns. I had my top 10. Sancho submitted his top 10, and I have done, through math, I've aggregated an average and given us a true definitive top 10 between our two. Now, before we go through the definitive top 10, let me tell you the two that didn't make on the list, and it's one of ours. You have one and I have one, and I think we both have some explaining to do as to why the heck they were on our list in the first place. We will start with you. Honorable mentions did not make the top 10. Uncle Howdy, please take the floor.
Yeah, listen. A perfect opportunity to establish another supernatural spectacle element that is missing currently in the WWE. That is what made The Undertaker special. It is a necessary evil, so to speak, to have a supernatural being in wrestling. It's hard to pull off, but if you do, that thing could go all the way to the end. The WWE has tried multiple times to replace Taker. I mean, the Boogeyman was something. Of course, Bray Wyatt, who didn't have the opportunity to finish. R.I.P. Bray. So why not? Why not give the ultimate nod of respect to a character that was created by the masterful mind of Bray Wyatt, then Uncle Howdy? Uncle Howdy comes in, the supernatural being, Roman Reigns, Scooby-Dooed out of his mind, decides to drop the belt to him, and Uncle Howdy becomes the undisputed intergalactic.
I just want to clarify that you said Scooby-Dooed out of his mind.
That's the ultimate reign of the bloodline. Hey, there's been a WWE Scooby-Doo crossover, so don't act like that's all
true.
Left field. All right. So Uncle Howdy, the WWE wants to establish this, and let's not act like I put this like at 1. All right, I put this at 10. Okay,
you did.
This is like deep down there, but hey, it'd be cool to get Uncle Howdy his ultimate launch pad by being the thing that beats Roman. Here's how I think it goes down. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Roman gives him the Superman punch, no sell from Uncle Howdy. Gives him a spear. It literally feels like he hit a concrete wall. And then he does it over and over again to the point where Roman pins himself, and Uncle Howdy just puts his foot on him for the win. And that's why I should be
so you think Uncle Howdy does the Homer Simpson method, how he wins the world championship in boxing. He just gets beat to the point, but he no-sells it, and the guy just dies of tiredness.
Yeah, and Uncle Howdy's a champion. Now, granted, I'm not looking for like a 1,000-day reign. I'm not looking for a 2,000-day reign. Just give that man a 1-day reign, and then he drops about the number all the run.
This is terrible.
Hey, that's why he's number 10, okay? Honorable mention, all right?
Look, I feel like my number 10's a little bit more respectable after hearing that, all right? I don't sound like Sylvester Stallone.
Number 10, here we go. Ooh.
Okay, this wasn't even my number 10. He was a little bit higher up. I had Logan Paul. Hey, yo, I know.
This is even worse than Uncle Howdy.
Are you kidding? Worse than Uncle Howdy, a guy that's never had a match in the WWE? No. All right, look, Logan Paul took the tribal chief to the limit. Logan Paul is elevating his stock every single time he's on screen, every single time he tweets, every single time he does an episode of Impulsive. I'm telling you, Logan Paul is
a fanboy.
Logan Paul, look. Drink Prime.
There it is. There it is.
Drink Prime, fellas. Drink Prime.
Boo. Sell out. Boo.
I won't go deep into it, but Logan Paul, I just think that he has the look. I think he's got the notoriety. I think that he is young enough and impressive enough in the ring where, I mean, they saw him good enough to win the U.S. championship. You know, he runs with that. He makes that special. He becomes even more special. I could see him maybe getting another crack at Roman Reigns. But again, it's not like I had him at number 1. All right, so let's relax. Let's relax about this.
That'll be another 300 to 600 days. It'd be another year.
It'd be another long reign. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and you don't want that. You want 1-day reigns, clearly.
Another day of Roman Reigns.
Yeah, you literally just won 1-day reigns. You want every new episode of Raw and SmackDown. You want a new champion.
Yeah. Hot potato, that bad boy. Let's get some fun with it. You know?
All right, so let's get into the number 10. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go through these. I'll reveal the number 10, and then you will tell me where you had him, and I'll tell you where I had him. And number 10, we have the current world heavyweight champion, Seth freaking Rollins. I did not have him on my list.
Wow. Former member of the Shield, boy?
I didn't have him on my list. You had him pretty high up, which is why I think it carried him to this spot, because I think you had him. Where did you have him?
5. I had him at 5.
You had him pretty high up. I just feel like if they gave him a consolation championship is because they never see him as the guy to be Roman. It's like, I'm just using contextual clues here, and it's annoying because there's so much unleft potential in that feud. Let's not forget that he beat Roman Reigns in that Universal Championship match, but it was a disqualification. So there's still untapped potential. There's still unfinished business, but to me, you know, they're like, here you go, Seth, World Heavyweight Championship. Take this. It tells me that they don't see him as the guy to beat Roman.
I know they pulled the trigger on that match early, and then, you know, Seth Rollins dressed up as the Shield version of Seth Rollins. So maybe that's already, the ship has passed, so to speak. But I think in my eyes, on my list going forward, it's anyone that has history with Roman that knows him. Like Cody Rhodes, you know, the more you wrestle him, he will download your move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's why I think it's a totally fair choice. I feel like you kind of said here, I feel like the ship has sailed, and I feel like they've given Seth Rollins a different project to work on, and I think that project will have him busy probably for the next couple of years. I think Seth Rollins is always going to be a shark in the water around the World Heavyweight Championship picture, whether he's champion or not.
Do you think we will live in a world? Let me paint you a picture. Let me paint it for you real quick.
Okay, Picasso.
Mr. John Moxley is recognizing that his body cannot go that long at the style that he is wrestling currently in AEW.
Yeah.
And then his contract is up. Does he go back to WWE for one more final angle with the Shield?
I mean, I'd like that. I don't know if you know how the WWE is, man. They're so finicky about their image. And I don't know, like it.
I think he's ruined anything. He's
No,
John Moxley over there, but
like,
Dean Ambrose.
He hasn't. Like Triple H has gone on record to say like, oh, like, you know, what if a kid Googles that certain person and they see less than savory things? And it's not that he's done unsavory things, but you know, you Google John Moxley and you're just basically seeing a bloodbath. I don't.
John Moxley be Dean Ambrose again.
I don't see any problem with it. I don't know, man. I feel like those two also just left on such sour terms that. But I know anything's possible, really. I mean, we're talking about CM Punk.
Vince is gone. Vince is gone, bro.
We're even talking about CM Punk coming back, so that's a possibility.
If Warrior came back, Bret Hart came back.
Look, if Ambrose comes back to the WWE, that's somebody that could definitely dethrone Roman Reigns. The history is there.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
You think the WWE would let an AEW guy dethrone their longest rating? Now you thought Uncle Howdy was crazy?
I don't know, man. We have an AEW guy pretty high up on our list, so yeah. So
that's the WWE boy though. That's the son of the WWE.
Yeah, but he's also like the creator of AEW. So we'll get there. We'll get there. All right. At number 9, we both had him on our list. None of us were super high on him, but we have LA Knight. I had him at 8. What about you?
I had him at 8 too.
There we go. Seems like you're cooling down on your LA Knight Jets.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Sometimes you gotta let the soup marinate. You gotta let that meat. He's just back in the refrigerator for a little bit, baby.
Dude,
you're gonna put him back on the skillet. You're gonna let that man cook. Just give him a second. Give him a second. Just because he had a bad promo. I saw your little video on TikTok. That was so cheesy. Listen, he needs to be less like The Rock and more like Stone Cold. Because there's a moment where you're like, okay, this is a good promo. I like it. And then he tries to dip into, let me pull out this rock poem. And it just fell flat. It's okay,
but are you agreeing that it was cheesy? It was bad. It was his worst promo probably since that Miz, I'm going to go call your wife.
Doesn't mean you throw away the whole carton of eggs.
I didn't say that you'd hit to throw them out. I just think that I don't think he's the guy. I don't think he's demonstrated a world championship caliber. Aside from like the moment in time, like leading up to the Roman match, that's when I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. But like, I feel like the ship has sailed. I feel like they probably are going to have one more match, but I don't see it. I just don't see LA Knight being the guy for the WWE anytime soon right now. I see him destined for a match with Logan Paul.
I feel like LA Knight is the ultimate worker, though. This dude could do commercials. He could do appearances.
You already have that guy. It's called The Miz.
That's what I was going to say is like at the same time, there's lots of people that can do that. Yeah. And some may say even better.
I agree.
Like Cody's ultimately the better face for the championship. I mean, we'll get there, but I love LA Knight. I think LA Knight could have had a moment in the sun. I think he still will. And just right now, it won't be the guy dethroning Roman Reigns, especially how he lost at the Crown Jewel.
Yeah, so we agree. Like, he's dead. It's over for him. It's done. Sure. Career done. It's over. It's done. Scrap it. Bring back the Maxim male models.
Yeah. Great. Sounds great.
All right, at number 8. I don't know that you had him on your list. I think this one's only me. I had Jey Uso.
No.
Down since day one ish. Look, I was hesitant to also put him on this list, but when we talked about legacy with Roman Reigns, when we talk about unfinished business,
guy who's a twin.
I know a guy that from time to time is known to yeet around.
I know a guy that has been in the penitentiary. Jeez,
oh my
Cody.
god, dude! This Cody promo is giving us material. I love it.
Is it better than finish? Wait, is it better than finish the story? Could be.
It could be. It all depends on what the Ace of Steel guy on TikTok does when he does another Cody Rhodes in high school, if he uses it or not. Yeah, shout out to that guy. Yeah, he put wrestling is cool into his latest video. So shout out to that guy. That guy's cool. That guy's cool. So is wrestling. Yeah, Jey Uso. I'm not ultimately that sold on it. I just think that in terms of story legacy between the two, I think that the way that the SummerSlam match ended left a lot of people with a lot to be desired. I don't think that this is Jey Uso's path, though. I think ultimately the big payoff for Jey Uso in this entire storyline is a match versus Jimmy. I don't think that it's necessarily Roman, but, you know, it could happen. It could happen. There's a possibility. I don't think that the odds are zero. Again, I think that's why we don't have him that super high up on this list.
I just don't. He's just a strange face to me. That's all. Drew McIntyre cut like a fantastic promo to start off Monday Night Raw, and then he's like cutting deep into Jay, and then Jay just comes out dancing, and you're just like, Jay, dude, this dude just called you out, bro.
Dude, I've had that exact same criticism. If you're on Patreon, you would have seen the Monday Night Raw review. If you aren't on Patreon, go to Patreon so you can watch the Monday Night Raw review. Dude, you and I are on the same wavelength. I said the same thing. I said Drew cut the promo of his life. He was so intense. He was spitting kind of genuine facts and genuine problems with Jey Uso. And Jey Uso's like, yeet, it's time for a yeet down. Wait, hot, just dancing around. And it's like, man, like you kind of killing the vibe here. Like we were going for one vibe and you're giving us another, and it ain't it. But yes, you and I, same wavelength. I did not like the way that Jey Uso responded to Drew McIntyre.
It just shows you that if you look at sometimes the face lean into like too much of what sells their merch sometimes in some way. I'm not saying that because Jay had a better promo backstage with Seth Rollins talking about like, that's my family, called out my family. Where was that when you walked out?
Facts. All right, let's move on. This is all you, buddy. I like this one. Braun Breaker at number 7. I did not have him on my list, but I love this shout.
Yes, it's another page out of establishing a talent, making him a monster. I think shout out to Alan Owens as well. I was listening to Alan Owens. He was streaming, and he talked about Braun Breaker should get Brock Lesnar to build up at the next Lesnar 2.0. I just think like this would be a great way to introduce Braun Breaker to the roster. The dude has the nastiest spear in the business. That spear is so nasty, spear versus spear. And why not have it be Braun? Because Braun is legacy, and for those of you know, he is a Steiner.
I know a guy.
I know a guy that has a dad that's a mathematician. Is it his son, right? It is Scott Steiner's son.
No, that's the other Steiner's son.
It's his uncle. It's his uncle. That's right, Uncle Steiner. So yeah, basically, there is a lot to say with Braun Breaker, and I think he's been doing great things with NXT. And this dude is just a unit, man. Like I never seen someone so like a meat bucket move so fast.
Like Brock Lesnar is the last guy.
He's like a blur. But the thing about Brock, though, he feels not. I know he's wrestling, right? He is pro wrestling Brock, but he's done so many other things. Whereas Braun Breaker feels like a old school throwback, and especially being the Steiner blood. I really like that, and they continue the bloodline thing, the theme of bloodline, and I feel like it's quite interesting to see how wrestling's second, third, fourth generation down the line, even like Rock's daughter. Is it Rock's daughter?
Yeah.
Rock's daughter getting involved into it. It's quite interesting to see that wrestling is establishing its roots, and why not establish its roots with Braun Breaker?
Facts. All right, let's move on to number 6. We were both like pretty like middle of the line with him, but we have at number 6 Solo Sikoa.
I have him at 9. Same thing. Establish a new star, and you know, John Cena tried it. Why not Roman?
Do you feel like the John Cena, the victory against John Cena didn't do anything for him?
I think they didn't establish. They didn't really jump on it. They had him cut a promo. They had Paul kind of trying to help him out. It just feels like it didn't have that. I think if it was like we mentioned, if it was done in an American crowd and you heard kids crying, I think it would have made it a lot more of a better. Like,
you know what I feel would have been what they needed. Let's say it still happened in Saudi Arabia. He gets a proper ceremony, a proper acknowledgement of his duties by Roman Reigns. Like Roman Reigns dubs him and calls him, "You are the next tribal chief. Well done. This is how it's done." That shit would have been, that's how you do it. It would have been great, because just beating John Cena right now doesn't do it for me.
No, that's why you need Roman just to be around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, again, maybe he can't travel. Maybe there is something like we don't know, but at the same time, him coming out and saying you're the next in line, I like that.
Yeah, or maybe like just demonstrating like some sort of like nervousness that his throne is in jeopardy now. Something.
Yeah. And you know what? And they don't need to do it in an arena. Like, use Roman's socials. Remember when Roman joined TikTok? At the first time, he did some really cool stuff that it was like, man, he's not doing anything really. He's just staring at the camera and he just does the number one. And you're like, all about it.
I'm on. That's enough. It doesn't need, like you said, it doesn't have to be super elaborate, super complicated. Just something that we know that.
Even a tweet saying Solo Sikoa, you're the next in line. Yeah. And they could even talk about it on the program.
Yeah. Just something that tells us that he has the finger on the pulse. Because right now it just seems like he's completely disassociated. I'm making the full assumption that he's healthy, obviously hoping that that's the case. If that's the case, God damn it, Roman, what are you doing? If that's not the case, then get better. But I'm hedging my bets here in case one or the other comes out. Number 5, I think you and I both have him here for the exact same reason. I had him at number 7. We have Damian Priest. What did you have?
I have him at number 6.
Yeah.
Senior Money in the Bank always will be a wild card in play. Not necessarily to be able to have the long legacy that Roman have or even to hold on to. I just think it'd be another great moment to celebrate and another, I guess, Money in the Bank highlight promo thing.
Sure. Wow, you're really just burying Money in the Bank today. I kind of just have him on here to hedge my bet. Yeah, it'd be dumb to not have him on here.
Because he has the Money in the Bank. That's why.
That's literally the only reason I have him on here, because I don't see him as a credible threat. But when you have that, right, when you have a bullet in the chamber, you got to give that guy a little bit of respect.
And let me point out, Damian Priest was hot, man, coming off a Backlash, was looking really well. He gave him that little dumb briefcase. Cool down.
I mean, still though, like I think giving him the briefcase is still a I guess a marker of respect, a sign of like, we get it. You did something amazing. This is why, I always tell people, don't sleep on these celebrity matches. I know that one wasn't a comedy match, but let's say, Bob Barker comes to the WWE and wants to have a match. I think he passed away, didn't he?
I think he did. Yeah.
Okay.
Uncle Howdy, huh? Another Uncle Howdy.
Sure. Who's okay? Steve-O decides to come to the WWE and wants to have a match. Whoever carries that match, sure, cool. Solo. Actually, I would love that. That's I feel like that's when the WWE, they always give those matches to the guys that they trust, and if they can actually deliver, they always get some sort of recompensation. They get paid back. I always see it that way. Number 4, I had him on my list very high, and you did not have him at all. I have Gunther, the Ring General, on here. Come on, man. He's powerful. He is the only guy, I would say right now, in terms of his in-ring legitimacy, that I think could threaten Roman Reigns. No one else right now. They have not rebuilt Cody Rhodes to be that guy yet. Like I feel like Cody Rhodes is an untrained Pokemon right now. If you put him against Roman right now, I feel like Roman wins. But
he's an injured Pokemon.
Yes, yeah, sure. Let's go with that. But I feel like Gunther, you put him against Roman right now, I'm scared for Roman. I'm actually scared for Roman losing here, because he has everything going for him. He's been hot for the past year. He's been delivering absolutely banger matches. He's gotten so much better as a storyteller, like leagues better than where he was last year. I think out of everyone on this list, the most ready right now to have a great program with Roman Reigns is Gunther, the Ring General.
I believe that Gunther's been put on ice to really help him get ready for this promo push. Like, you haven't seen him do a lot of work inside the ring, but I think they've been working with him outside, and the stuff he's been doing now with the Miz, grade A, world-class promo, not over the top, very, he's finding, like, there's different notes in promos, right? And he has that simmer, I'm better than you vibe, really done well. He looks like $1 million. Like I said, I mentioned before, he looks like a football player, like a soccer football player, right? He looks like he belongs in the Premier League type of vibe, or F1. He looks like he represents that European snobbery.
Yeah, higher life.
Higher life better wearing loafers, got that clean haircut. He looks great, and I just love how he just. Oh, you're called the Miz? I'll call you Mike. Whatever.
Yeah,
Mike.
I do. The way I explained this to a buddy of mine, when we were watching some wrestling, I was like, and this was a high school friend. I was like, do you remember when we would go to like basketball games and we would run into that one team that would wear suits and we knew we were done? We knew we were done. Like if we're playing a team where the coach is like, we're wearing suits, we're wearing dress pants, we're wearing dress shoes, we're getting like all basically matching haircuts, we're done. It's over. We have no chance here. And that's how I feel about Gunther.
You're like the little giants just showing up in your hodgepodge with some warm-ups, mismatched shoes and whatnot.
Pretty much, man. And like, yeah, when you see somebody that well put together but can deliver as well, they aren't just for show. They're on another echelon.
It's Team Iceland, dude. It's the Mighty Ducks Team Iceland. You're just like, yeah, that's world-class pro wrestling. And what I like about Gunther is that he has that pro wrestling vibe about him, and he could win in a multitude of ways. Yeah. And I don't think Roman has ever faced anyone that could beat him. Yeah. I just didn't have him on the list because I just feel that the WWE, if they would have already started that angle now.
Yeah. Basically. Yeah, fair enough. I also think that Gunther can't be memed on. He's unmemeable. Like you look at Roman, who can, he can make the John Cena jokes. He can make the jokes about Jay being a twin. He can make jokes about LA Knight, making fun of the LA Knight chant. There's no memeing Gunther here. It's so it would be.
Roman would give him respect.
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. I think it'd be a great feud, even if Gunther doesn't win it. I'd like to see this current peak Gunther get a crack at Roman Reigns. I think it'd be great.
I want to see Gunther taken to the limit. We've seen Gunther taken the limit before, but he's never fought underneath to the limit.
Yes, yeah, he was still the favorite in that, in that pedal to the metal type of match. Number 3, you're not gonna like this. Number 3 is Sami Zayn. He was your number 1.
He was my number 1 pick, dude.
I had him low. I had him 9.
He was hot, dude. He was at that moment you thought it was going to happen and everyone wanted it to happen, and they gave every hope spot you could imagine. And Sami, I think the reason why I put Sami here is because of his power promos that he's been having, and he's been having a lot of fire underneath his promos. So I really think that Sami, it's a no-brainer at this point. This dude is the ultimate underdog. He's the little brother to the big brother. He was manipulated so much by Roman Reigns, and this would be the ultimate ending fairy tale story of the bloodline. This would be the final thing. This would be the new hope. This would be the rebels against the Empire. This is Luke Skywalker against Darth Vader all over again, and it's Sami Zayn.
Damn, you sold me on it. Okay, I got a quick question for you. Somebody asked me this, and I was like, this is actually a really good question. When the bloodline goes into the Hall of Fame, is Sami Zayn in that?
No, he's gonna be the one that ends it.
No. I mean,
I know. Like kayfabe aside, they're standing there and they're accepting the ring.
Do you think that he gets a Hall of Fame ring with the bloodline? Because I think he was the best thing of the bloodline for a long time.
I would argue without him, it's not the same.
I agree.
Without him, those segments didn't have that level of comedy, and they're trying so much to bring it with Jimmy. But they don't know how to, there's so much gold in the whole Sami Zayn bloodline. Uzi, he's not feeling very Uzi right now.
So good. It's too good. They
looked like they all were having fun. Yeah. Like they were all trying to crack each other. And I think it brought out the best of Roman. It brought out the best of everybody.
Yeah, so. That's the best. That's MCU phase 1 to 3, man. That was the best stuff right there. And we just need to work our way right back to it. I like the Sami Zayn pick as well. I just, I have a tough time believing those that have already gotten a crack at it. And I just don't think that we're ever going to get to that level of popularity ever again. But we gotta move on here. At number 2, we have the People's Champion, The Rock. So I had The Rock maybe a little too high. I had him at 3, and I had
him at 4.
Okay. Do we really believe that?
I think it's more of like The Rock keeps talking about it. That's my problem. He keeps bringing it up in interviews. He brought it up in Young Rock. He brings it up all the time, and I don't know if it's The Rock wanting that to happen and to him to be in a WrestleMania main event again, to, like, lack of a better term, weasel his way into the main event by getting the people wanting it. and or use it as another pedestal for The Rock to appear again, or like I mentioned, the Prometheus of Superman, just to suck up all the heat and get the shine. Do I want it? I don't know. I would love to see The Rock. I just want to see The Rock. I just want to see Roman be fearful or be on the cusp of being overpowered. And The Rock is like that. It's like the old guy who could do it. Like he has that old man strength, and he has the guile of a veteran, and he has that it's like fighting a big brother. It's Roman fighting the big brother type of thing. I think it would work really well, and I think at the same time they'll sell a lot of tickets.
Obviously, like out of all of the matches available here, that's the biggest match. But you mentioned, I'd like to see Roman be scared, be nervous. I feel like Gunther delivers that more, weirdly enough. But yeah, like The Rock is just such a huge. The thing is like if The Rock comes back, if The Rock has a match with Roman, I think it's like a guaranteed. I think that's what happens. Yeah,
and I do feel like it'd feel like a Fast and Furious Rock. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It'd be a Hobbs.
You want
type
Hobbs.
Of Rock. It'd be a Hobbs, like him just being like, I'm the strong guy. I'm the one that it won't be like he won't cut a promo he won't call Roman a jabroni. He won't do all that. He won't treat him like an Austin Theory. Yeah. He'll treat him like he is not even a John Cena. He's just going to treat him like an equal, and he's going to bow up to him type of deal.
I mean, like he's got a better chance at winning some promos here than he did versus John Cena when he got absolutely torched, got absolutely destroyed by John Cena.
Please watch that podcast, by the way. There's a lot of good. If you're new to WIC, there's a lot of good stuff in our previous work.
Yes. Go watch it. Number one. Want to say it together? Because you know what it is. Whoa, it's Cody Rhodes. You didn't have him on number one, though. I did. I had him on number one, but you still had him super high on your list. You had him at number two.
Number two. It just I mean, we mentioned it all before. Yeah. Finish the story. He is the prodigal son of the WWE, Dusty Rhodes. I mean, Dusty is as well trained Roman. They did some great work with the angles. Everybody, I think what it is they did a great work laying the foundation that everyone knows the stakes already. And they already had that stare down. And I think it's just Cody could carry the title. He could carry the face of the company. He could wrestle. He will have some great matches going forward. And at the same time, why not, Cody?
Yeah.
I'm on the LA Knight hype train. I know that, but Cody deserves some love.
I agree too. Like, I just think it's like, if I had to mortgage everything that I own and gamble it on who is going to be the one that dethrones Roman, the safe and smart choice is Cody Rhodes. The WWE for a long time has been run by heels. The face of the company has been a heel. I think
he's a good face.
He is a great face of the company. If the WWE wants to transition from a in-ring face like a Roman Reigns to somebody that's more mainstream marketable right now, because usually it's the baby faces that are a bit more mainstream marketable, to appear on the Tonight Show, to appear on Good Morning America, things like that, to parade the belt during charitable endeavors. I think Cody Rhodes is your guy. I don't think that it gets better than that.
And this guy goes out in the cold and welcomes fans and takes pictures with them. And at the same time, Roman being the promo guy as the heel, it's weird because there's two faces of Roman. There's like the laid back, cool Roman himself. And then there's like, let me go into the heel side when I switch over. And Cody could blend the two simultaneously at the same time.
And dude, if I'm an AEW guy that is maybe potentially thinking of making the jump over, and I see the WWE putting a title on one of the mainstays of AEW, like that's so encouraging to make want to make the leap.
MJF, is that what you're thinking?
No, I think MJF's already re-signed.
You think so?
I think so. Like, look, if I'm a businessman, I wouldn't be having MJF this high up in the card with the championship so close to his contract being up. I think they've already secretly, quietly in the back re-signed.
You said so yourself. MJF, they need him. So, of course, they're going to keep him high on the card. There'd be no reason to bury him. I know you're going to have to go soon. I have an idea because we're up against it. We'll do a quick blaze through of the Survivor Series because you already made a video on your Survivor Series predictions. But that's our top 10 of the Roman Reigns dethronation. And we're doing, I still think Uncle Howdy should be considered.
Oh, stop.
So, run down the card for Survivor Series, and then we'll wrap this puppy up.
All right.
Put a nice little bow on it.
Carlito versus Santos Escobar. You.
I would go with Carlito.
You're crazy. Santos Escobar, he's too hot right now. I'm taking Santos.
By DQ. You didn't let me finish.
Oh, well. Well, you paused. I just assumed you finished. I think it's a fair assumption that you finished there. Don't gaslight me as if I interrupted you. You paused. You stopped talking.
It's a false finish.
Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark.
Rhea.
Too hot. This is a side quest for her. Next up, we have Gunther versus The Miz.
Gunther
as well. I think it's going to be tight, though.
It would be close. I think it's going to be shenanigans. Either Imperium gets involved, or at the same time, same thing. Ref knocked out. Phantom 1, 2, 3.
I disagree. I don't think that there's any.
Miz could DQ himself.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any shenanigans. Like for these major matches, Imperium doesn't really get involved.
I think it'd be an HBK type ending for The Miz, where he's like, "Bring it on, hit me with another."
I like that. I would love that. Women's War Games match: Team Bianca versus Team Damage Control.
Damage Control.
Team Damage Control. They have to win.
They have to win something. They have to win something.
Yeah.
Or if they lose, it starts to turn on Bailey.
I think this is not negotiable. I think they have to win this.
I agree.
Yeah.
They have to win this, or it's over.
It's over. I will not care. You already made me not care about them. You made me care, but I'm still very hesitant to really put my eggs in this basket. If you don't pull the trigger on them, I'm done. I don't care. Damage Control has to win. Team Cody versus Team Judgment Day.
It has to be Judgment Day, and I think it's the fifth man screws. If it's CM Punk, Team Cody. If it's Randy, Judgment Day.
Yeah, I'm going Team Judgment Day as well, because I do think that there's going to be fireworks with that fifth person. I don't think that everyone's going to gel. I don't
think Randy doesn't wrestle a lot. That he's very well protected.
He has to be. Yeah.
He'll do one RKO and he won't take crazy bumps. There's no way. That's why they have JD in there.
All right. Let's get Dominic. I got to wrap it up. Yes, and Dominic. All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Wrestling is Cool. Hopefully you enjoyed that little expedited episode. Go check out Sancho at Sancho West. Everything Sancho West. And myself, you're here. Just look up Santi's app on Google. I pop up for all my stuff. Oh, take care, everybody. We'll have fun in Survivor Series. Sancho, any last words?
Adios. And don't forget, you get your teeth clean. Bye.
Bye. Hey, everyone. This is just a special thank you to our $15 patrons for helping produce this show. Shout out to Abel Rodriguez, Adam Wozner, Alejandro Caballero, Ben Calloway, Ben Manlove, Buxo, Cody Cook, Connor Williamson, Crunchy Tomato, Dominic McDonald, Gavin Alves, Isaac, Mako Mac, Michael Glass, Monte Moore, Nicholas Kyle. We had Squishy, Sullivan Meyer, Super Malachi Galaxy, The Bee Meister, Two Crown, Wesley Simpson, Yellow Wantuan, Zergzito. Thank you guys very much for supporting at the $15 Patreon tier. You guys are fantastic. And thank you for helping produce this show. Cheers.